All right, so editing automations as of recent, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen have been really trending up and going up in the market when it comes to its value that it brings to businesses, and some are just using it for different cool features. On my end, I've been basically using them to find ways to build and help businesses when it comes to automating some of their processes and increasing the ROI on their ends, which is the return on investment once they deploy some of these automations that they sometimes almost instantly see. So for this build today, I'm actually going to be showcasing an automation that we built for a client and is actually functional. So this automation is an event booking automation, and this automation, its main function is to basically it's in the name, which is book events. It can also accept payments, and it can also record the data in the Airtable. And the good part about it is that you can actually deploy this automation on WhatsApp. So I'm going to be breaking down this automation and how it works and how it's actually built and how this automation actually works from the beginning all the way up to the final product, which is how it actually works in deployment. So for payment integrations, this automation is using Stripe. On deployment, it's using WhatsApp, and for the database, it's currently using Airtable. We do have other nodes such as the ChatGPT LLM in there and a few other interesting things that basically I'm going to showcase to you and break everything down. So one of the other cool things that we've actually done is if you want the entire automation or the template completely for free, you can have it in the community. Just join in the community and then you have access to these automations as well as access to many other different automations that we've built and scaled. And not only that, we're actually working on teaching you how you build these automations, and I have a full video in there which is going to be breaking down how to build this from scratch. Or if you don't want to watch that, you can just get the whole thing and then just tweak it and try it yourself. So without further ado, this is the automation and this is what it looks like right now. So this automation currently has got three main workflows. The three main ones are these. So the first one is called the payment workflow. So this is basically the main workflow that the person goes through whenever they start interacting with the agent. And then so this is the first part of the automation. And then this is where someone gets to chat with the AI agent that we set up for event booking company, and then it's going to be able to answer FAQs just in case someone wants to have information about it. Once they actually show interest in purchasing a ticket, that's when it's going to be redirected to the other workflow where that whole process happens, where they have to actually start choosing which type of ticket they want and the amount that they want. So in this automation, as you can see, it's a simple WhatsApp setup. I already did a video on how to set up your WhatsApp. I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave it down in the description, or probably it's going to pop up on one of those two. So you have the WhatsApp setup here, then you have the if node. So basically what this does is basically check if the person that's talking to the agent has interacted with the agent before or it's a new user to the agent. So if the person has interacted with the agent before and it's true, then it continues to go through. Also, this is something that is really optional. You can remove this if you don't want to, but at the moment we can actually just keep it. It's actually staying here because I think it's actually working really good. And then we have this AI agent. So for the AI agent, you can basically see it works with our OpenAI chat model. And then we have the prompt, which is probably the most important part. So for the prompting, it's been something that I've had to basically learn how to prompt because I actually knew how to prompt and I actually thought I did know how to prompt. But then prompting has actually turned out to be something that has really been interesting when you actually really dive into it deeply, and then what you actually need to write for the agent to be able to act in a certain way. So I'm pretty sure I have a video on prompting specifically that's coming up because I have other documents or some documents that I collected for it, which have helped me understand prompting in a really deeper way. And I really think it will be helpful for someone like you also who might try to build an automation. So for the prompting sector here, as you can see, we have the role of this, which is basically an event assistant. You have the instructions here. I think we can read through some of them. So the customer politely keeps short and clear, WhatsApp friendly, and you have, prevent information or provide event information. You have the user wants and reserves. whenever someone basically makes a reservation, you have to try and be as detailed as you want, or as you, yeah, you have to try and be as detailed as you would want the agent to perform. So every single functionality you kind of like have to specify for it to be able to work in that same way. And you have examples in action here, so which are basically examples of what someone might say and how the agent should be able to respond to those types of questions. And you have that, this is just an example of a conversation flow. The JSON is actually here where the payment link has been generated, and this is, the link of the stripe that we're using, and then all this other information. And then, yeah, all this other information. So that's in the AI agent, and in the prompt itself. I'm pretty sure you already are familiar with the AI chat model and the simple memory. Then here, when it comes to the details, so this, the first one is in charge of the events that are currently available. So let's say there are different events that are happening. So let's say in one building there's a wedding going on, and then on the other day there's a party going on, and then there's a concert on the other day. So the AI agent has information on all three. And let's say you're trying to book for the concert, and then you're asking on the day which the concert is actually going to happen. The agent is going to have that information and then be able to, relay it back to you, and then you be able to see what events are actually available for you and what tickets you can get them at. That also includes the price as well. This is basically, it gets the events details. This basically just gets all the events that are available. Then we have this, which is basically the make a reservation tool, which leads you to the second automation. So you have this, as you can see, it's a basically just makes HTTP request and returns the response. So it's a post, meaning it's sending to the other automation, and I'll show you what it looks like on the other automation when it's receiving the data. And then it has, the URL of the automation and basically the JSON. You can go through. You have the sender ID, you have the sender WhatsApp, and yeah, this is what the site looks like. So I think for the first part, it's not really too complex. It's actually a bit more easier to understand. So I think we can go on to the second automation, which is the payment workflow. And as you can see, the first node that we have here is actually the webhook. This webhook is basically getting the data that we had from the previous workflow, and then it's basically being pasted in here, and then going through the WhatsApp conversation. So all these WhatsApp notes have got specific outputs which the user is basically supposed to reply to for it to continue throughout that conversation to try and schedule them to make the payment for the ticket. So you've got the message that it's supposed to send here, which is proceed with the event reservation ticket payments. I need some details. Could you please provide or fill out the form below? So it gives them a form that they're supposed to fill out, and then once they fill out the form with their details, which are usually their first name, their email, number of tickets as well. So these are usually the information that they get to have once they receive that form. And then you have here, which is the second node, which is basically sending a message to them. So the second one here, which is basically a thank you message. So it just sends a thank you message for filling out the form immediately after they fill out the form. And then you have this other node here, which is we have to proceed with the payment. And then, yeah, now let's proceed with the payment. And then it basically goes to the Airtable first, searches the ID of the event that the person wants to make the payment for, and then it gets the ID of that event. Because once we generate different event products in our Stripe account, each event has its own ID from Stripe. So we usually get that event ID from Stripe and then actually put it in the Airtable, so that whenever someone makes payments to that ID, it goes in the Stripe account under the event ID, or product rather, if you want to call it that. So specifically, we make that in the Airtable. I'm also going to be showing you what that looks like in the Airtable as well. Yeah, so you have the filter by formula here, which is the event ID, and the personal. This is the Airtable connection. And then after that, it basically generates a payment link for you that you're supposed to make payments to. You can see it gets the Stripe API key here. And then if you want to scroll down, you can check line items, the price, and you have the quantity as well. That's going to be submitted to them, which they have to fill out. And then once they do that, the automation basically is going to search and they are able to see if this person has already made a payment before, or this is the first time the person is actually buying a ticket or buying the ticket. So it's going to search for that. And then if we've got a switch note here which basically says if it's true, then create a purchase. And then if it's not true, create a purchase if someone has already purchased before. So you've got inside here, basically there's customer ID, there's an event, there's a number of tickets, there's a payment amount that the person has paid, and then the method of payment. So this is actually recorded in the Airtable as well. We've got different methods of payment such as credit card, cash, bank transfer, and other payments as well. You've got the status as well, which is currently spending. And then the record here, which basically creates a new record whenever someone has made the payment for the first time. And then it basically creates a purchase afterwards, which is basically this. All right, okay. So you've got the webhook, which is basically a in text format, and it just basically says payment link has been generated, and then you have the payment link which gets submitted there, and then the name, the email, and then you have the tickets and the event. You have all those three in there. Oh, and then for this other different part of it, right now it's set on the one-click execution. What it basically does is just searches for records of payments whenever someone is trying to search for a ticket that was made, or maybe you're trying to check the details. So basically, this has to be changed to a WhatsApp. So you can change this to a WhatsApp note. Yeah. So this one right here, the other one is basically used to search records whenever someone wants to update or increase the number of their tickets. So this is basically for people who have already made a purchase or people who have bought or existing customers if they're trying to update their number of tickets. For example, let's say they already bought three and then they're trying to buy five. This basically will just search through the Airtable and then retrieve the information it has on that person and their ticket, and then it's going to be able to create a new product and a new price just in case they want to make a new payment for those. And then it's going to update the same information of that person only in the Airtable. So let's say if they had three, basically that's going to change now to five if they bought two more. So that's basically the overview of this automation as well. And then you have the other one here, which is the most important part, which is the payment trigger. So this is what actually triggers the Stripe to start working so that it generates or it gets the Stripe to start working so that it actually receives a payment and sends a confirmation message to WhatsApp immediately after. So you've got Stripe here, the Stripe connection is actually here. Um, Once the payment is made, it basically updates the Airtable paid in the Airtable, which is one specific rule that I'm going to show you. You've got the JSON code here, which basically elaborates name of the person. You have the number of tickets that they've made, and as well as and the number of the ticket that that person has bought, which basically increases here. You've got an increment sign here. It increases. So if the person buys two, three, that's basically going to increase the amount as well according to what price each ticket is at. And then the total amount of that is basically what's going to be updated or added to the Airtable and basically going to be added to the total amount so that the person should be able to make the payment for that. And then we have here the update a record which basically now updates the Airtable whenever the payment has been. So immediately after that's done, you've got here the update record which basically updates the secret ID of the payment link. So maybe you're trying to track it as well, you can use this ID that's going to be updated in here so that you can see. So you've got the secret code here. You can see you're just using the payment ID here to match them. And then we go back to get record, and once it gets this record, which is the payment that has been currently made, it sends a WhatsApp message back to the user confirming that payment has been successful. So your payment has been proceeded successfully. Here's your ticket credentials to access the event. So you have the updated fields here, the secret access code for that. So you will also receive a confirmation email as well, which is sent immediately after the person confirms that they have actually made the payment. So this is honestly what the automation looks like. I'm going to show you the Airtable and what that looks like as well. Yeah, so if we head into the Airtable, you'll be able to see we actually have some events here. So these events are the ones that we currently filled in just for the demo purposes, and you can see we have some such as jazz night, tech expo, food festival, and each of these has their own category, dates, and their own time. Also has their own location. So this has a unique Stripe pricing ID. So this Stripe pricing ID is basically the pricing for each of these events. So it's basically the pricing for each of these events, which we create in the Stripe account, and it's going to have its own unique Stripe ID. So these are the IDs that are here, and then we have the total amount of slots, and then we have the slots availability right now, the description, as well as the purchases here. So the amount of people that have purchased. And then we've got another sheet on the Airtable, which is the customers. So this basically just shows you the amount of people who have basically the entire list of details of people who have actually bought. So you have the you've got the email here, you've got the WhatsApp ID, you've got the registration date, you've got the purchase. Yeah, you've got the total successful events registered, the total tickets bought, and the amount spent. And then we have the purchase sheet here, which basically just tracks the purchase ID. You've got the customer, you've got the event, you've got the number of tickets, you've got the purchase ID, you've got the amount which has been spent, and you've got the Stripe payment method here. Or you've got the payment method here. Right now we've got Stripe, but we can actually change this to yeah, if someone makes a payment to any of these other details, it's basically going to change to that. At the moment is we're using Stripe, so we can actually change those when it comes to customization. So we can add card or any other method that you want us to add. And then we have the payment status here. Shows paid because it shows paid because someone has already made the payment. We've got the payment ID here, and then recipient notes and the secret access code as well, which is that access code that I showed you earlier. So this is what the Airtable looks like. Yeah, so this is what the Airtable looks like. And it's basically the walkthrough of this event booking AI automation that we built. And if you are interested in having this automation uh, being built for you, or you want to build the automation, so you can watch this video and try to build it yourself. Or you can reach out to me. I can actually help you build this automation. But we also do have a school community where we'll be providing all these automations and templates that we're using completely for free once you join the community, and then you can have all these and then be able to customize and use them and go deploy them in whatever way. Basically, I'm trying to create more automations which I'm actually using and I'm actually deploying, so that you can actually see all those that all those that are working for me, so that I'm pretty sure that they can work for you as well, since I'm already using them as well. So it becomes much more easier for me to do that than getting random automations and then just building random things. So I'm also going to be active in the community. So one thing that you also do get when you join that community is basically hop into the community, and then after that you can schedule a call with us and then have a call with us if you feel that's necessary. This is a walkthrough to this automation. I know this video probably took longer than I expected. Um, it's which is kind of crazy, but I'll see you guys as well in the next video. So make sure you follow along the journey. It's actually been a really interesting journey to see. Hope I can see you in the next video as well. So